maintain one temporary variable that is in controller. Just
not necessary. Because
for serial number, sir. For serial number.
Because already you are taking every data and displaying on the CSHTML, right? So take that as a value also and put it in the hidden field. When you are submitting, take that hidden field again, make it plus plus, and then send it to database. Imagine last time you displayed 7th question. Now you are clicking next. The 7 plus 1 equal to 8. So take that 8 and go to database and fetch 8th serial number wala question. Okay, like that you have to do. Serial number you have to maintain.
Okay, sir.
You are talking about session, right? Session extremely last. If there is no other way, you should go for session. So quickly you should not go for session because lot of session it will slow down your process basically. Okay. Maintain hidden field so that the moment you render it, it will not take the space in the buffer, server buffer. So little performance also matters, right? So take it to hidden field so that it will take in your browser, not in the server buffer. If you go for temp data or session or anything, it may store in the server buffer and it will unnecessarily occupy the space. So hidden field will not occupy the space in the server buffer. It will occupy the space in the browser. Now for you, only one hidden field. For him, only one hidden field. Not like for 1,000 users, 1,000, serial number in server buffer. So bit better if you take hidden field in this case. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Let me share my screen. I think everybody joined.
Sir, good morning. One small doubt.
Yeah.
Sir, this database, how many years financial year like that? Like we can store or continuously keep on storing like that?
Particularly as far as this project is concerned, if you store 20 years data also, I don't think any huge data will be there because it's like finger counting records for one user.
Yeah, generally, sir, generally.
If it is, it depends upon how much data. If crores of data records you are thinking, then you can, use any backup system or table partitioning system, anything.
Okay.
But if you fill up to 20 years, 10 years, also data is not going to huge, like crores. Lakhs also fine. If it will be crores, then you can think something.
Okay.
Like there is table partitioning, there is backup and restoring, many things are there. Now, being today, who is using 20 years back data? So if you think so, then you can have a backup system.
For example, financial records supposed to be
like
6 years.
Last five financial
6 years,
year,
yeah.
Give the data and then other things, make it restored to somewhere else. That you can define as a policy.
Okay, sir. Okay.
It depends upon number of records, not the year.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I have left one topic called lazy loading, okay, which is good best practice, but not necessarily to use in entity framework. So in .NET framework, it was by default active. Okay, in .NET Core, it is by default inactive. Inactive means you have to make it active. So what is that lazy loading in entity framework, and how to do and why to do? So that I will tell you. As I said, it is optional. Okay, the moment you are creating entity framework and connecting with database, automatically it will not activate it. Okay, so what is the reason of activating that lazy loading? That I will tell you first. Understand. And because people, if they're asking an interview, they will not ask how part. How part is easy, but why part is bit conceptual. Why somebody will go for lazy loading? Okay, so let's discuss on this point. That's called lazy loading. So lazy loading, again, I will tell you, it is not only for MVC or only for console application or anything. It is as long as you are connecting with the database, this is in place. So we say it as lazy loading. So database connectivity, one of the process basically. But we will take help of MVC core because our career is in MVC core. Otherwise, it can also be applicable in simple console application as well. Okay, so it's a kind of using entity framework. You are connecting with the database. It is one approach while connecting with the database. So let me first make you understand this through a diagrammatical representation. Okay, imagine this is your application. When I say application, it can be console application, it can be MVC application, it can be any application. Okay, so this is my application. I have told you virtual DB concept, right? So this is my application. Entity framework prepares one virtual DB concept. We set as context DB, and it connects with database, isn't it? Suppose this is your database. Okay. Now here it maintains in the server, application server. If I will say it is application server, and inside this application server, I've hosted my application. Suppose here, this is app, that is application server. Then here it maintains that virtual DB concept, right? So suppose this is your virtual DB, or we say it as context DB. So it takes the server space, buffer space in the application server, not in the database server. So you are communicating with the context, and context is helping you to do the transactions. And when you say save changes, that indicates go from context and save it in database. That is called kind of commit. In old architecture, we used to have commit. So that is called committing to the database. That is fine. So this is also both direction interaction, isn't it? This way also, this way also. Now in this complete approach, sometimes what happens, we may have some parent to child relationship in the table. For example, employee is my parent table, department is my child table, because each employee belongs to one department, or each department belongs to some organization, like some parent to child hierarchy we have. If that is the case, then your table will be something like this. So here, imagine you have some employee table that might be having some column, and here you have department table. At least one column you keep common in between them. Then only you say it is having some parent to child relationship. Say this is department ID column, which is common between both the tables. Suppose this is employee ID, which is my primary key, and this is department ID, and here also I have department ID as primary key. Suppose, take one example. Okay, this is my primary key. Foreign key you can define, you can leave, that is not a big deal. Okay, department ID usually we make as a foreign key. If not also, still you can apply the parent to child relationship. Lazy loading is not to foreign key only. Lazy loading can be without defining the foreign key also, it is possible. Okay, but as a best practice we define as foreign key, so that unless it is there in the child table, it will not be in the parent table. If data is available, then only it will allow, and all those restrictions will be in place. So we are not talking about foreign key this time. We assume that one common column is there between both the tables, and sometimes you define it as foreign key. So when you are bringing the employee data, okay, currently how you are doing, you are maintaining one view model where you have one employee, whatever required columns, and one object of the department. as object property, right? Public, department, my department, get set, like that you put, and then you collect the data. But currently, the way you are collecting the data, it is manual approach. Okay, manual approach in the sense you are saying when I will require, then only I will plug the department data. If I don't require, I will simply carry the employee data. Got it or not? Because you may need sometimes only employee data without department data. That's why what you do, you just put one department ID as a property, only department ID as a property, and other things like employee name, address, other things, mobile number, email address, those things you take it. One department ID you are keeping, that is for sure in the employee data, right? Why you are keeping that department ID? Because whenever you demand department detail for that employee, again you are going to database, collecting the department detail and then displaying if necessary. Or sometimes you need both at a time. Then in that approach itself, you are saying that okay, I need employee detail everything along with the department ID, and I need department detail also, like department name, whatever, total number of employee, whatever in the department table also you want to bring, suppose. So currently the way you are doing that is called manual approach. When you demand, then you plug, which is good also sometimes, right? If I don't need really every time department, every time I bring employee, I really don't need a department. Sometimes only I need, maybe out of 50 places in application, I need only 2 places where I need employee along with the department. 48 places I need only employee, means only employee, only department means only department. Then tightly coupling is not a good idea, right? So now approach is, you keep this property, department type property in employee, but always don't bring that data. When you demand it, then you bring the data through one easy process. Okay, through an easy process. We say it as lazy loading. Why this word lazy? Because in one hand you are mapping this department with this employee. In other hand you are saying, when I will demand, then only you give it to me. Without my demand, you don't unnecessary carry. Okay, if you are carrying also, you keep it in the context, not in the application. Application means your controller, repository, model, utility, those are all called application area. But your context is virtual DB area. If context wants to have mapping, let it have it. But in my application area, I don't need to carry every time department detail along with employee detail. That means you are in a situation, you are saying, not always I need also, and sometimes I need also. That is also there in press. Understand carefully. One is, I never need. I only need employee separately. I only need department separately. One is, I always need. Employee, wherever you take, department you take. Both are having some demerit. Okay? Both are having some demerit. Without mapping, if you do, that means you don't put department property inside employee model, then that indicates never take. Along with employee, department data never take, because you don't put that property inside this employee. Okay, so first case is like this. Suppose this is your employee model. In this employee model, what you are doing? Imagine employee ID is your primary key, then department ID, and then employee name. Then you have something called mobile number. You have something called email, and so on and so forth. Okay. You don't have at all mapping. Mapping means this one I'm talking about. Public, department, employee department. Get set. This is called mapping. Okay. Mapping department mapped property with the employee. These are all direct property like integer, no, public, integer, employee ID, get set. Okay. Like that department ID, employee name, and so on. Integer, string, character, double, decimal, float, whatever. But this is not like that property. This is department type property mapping. It is also get set, but department type, not integer type. Remember, this is called mapped property. If you are doing this kind of mapped property, okay, that indicates every time you take employee data, you bring department data also. If I will not have this mapped property, that indicates department should be carried separately, employee should be carried separately. Both are two different entity altogether. In fact, if you do mapped property also, your employee along with the department will be another entity. Entity means model. So suppose your department, which is having public, integer, department ID, get set. Public integer, department ID, get set. And so on and so forth. So department name, I'm not typing integer, string, character, float every time. You understand this is direct property. So department name, then let's say total strength, how many people are there in the department, integer, that's it, suppose. Now, one is, I don't want to map this department here. If I will not map this, that indicates both are independent properties, independent entity class. When employee will come, department will not come. When department will come, employee will not come automatically. That is called category number 1. Category number 2 is, I map department along with employee. Whenever I need employee, every time I need department. That is called map property. In the employee class itself, I put another additional property called public department employee data. Okay. So if you are taking null value for department, employee department, then your screen might be troubling you, saying that hey, you are bringing null value and you are binding on the screen. That means based on the output on the browser only, you have to decide. But sometimes what happens, this department not mandatory to bring. If I need, bring it. If I don't need, don't bring it. So that time what we do here, along with public, department, etc., you add one extra keyword. We say it as virtual. Okay, nothing much difference. You create a mapped property, but don't forget to put virtual before that. Technically, that is the difference. And couple of additional things you have to do, I will tell you. So here you have to do virtual. Okay. So in interview they will ask, then you have to use this word virtual. So by using virtual map property, we can facilitate lazy loading. Point number 1. Point number 2, is it by default activated? If I will simply put it virtual, it will start working. That means every time I will bring employee, if I demand, department will come. If I don't demand, department will not come. Is it like that every time? Just like putting virtual? No. You have to activate, because in .NET framework, the moment you put virtual here in the mapped property, it was saying that I'm good. You go ahead, display it. If you are displaying, I will bring it. If you are not displaying, I will not bring it. So that was already in place. But now in .NET Core, what they did, they said, we will give you the facility, but by default it is not activated. You have to do something, right? So that do something, I will tell you in the, one extra library you have to add, Proxy library basically, okay? And along with that Proxy library, you have to go to context and activate that lazy loading, because lazy between context and the application. From database it brought the data as if there is no virtual. Understand? From database it brought the data as if there is no virtual. But when it maintain in the virtual DB, that means context DB, in this blue color one, then it will tell, I am keeping it, your map data called department data. You enjoy with employee. Whenever you need, you demand, I will give you. It does like that, right? That's why this is called virtual, because it keeps the data in the virtual DB or context DB. Now, matter is in this context, how I will activate it. If this is my context, how I will activate it, saying that, hey, dear
It's
context,
7 o'clock.
can you please activate the lazy loading feature so that if any mapped data is coming from database to application server, the child data you hold it with you. When user will demand, then only you give it to you, give it to him. Right? Server is same, it is not hitting to database again and again, but you keep it with you. If he demands, give it to him. In screen number 1, he needs, along with employee below some department data also. In screen number 2, he may need only employee. Then for both the screen, why should you carry that department data up to browser? And you will say that I got the data, but I'm not displaying the data. But that is unnecessary wastage of memory, and speed also will be little less, right? Who knows, there are 2000 employee. For each employee, you are taking one extra object called department. You don't need it in that screen. But in second screen, perhaps you need it also, along with employee department detail, right? So this is where you need lazy loading. When you demand, then you should get it. When you don't demand, unnecessary memory, you should not carry it. It should keep it in the context, and it will say that I will not carry browser, in the browser level or controller level or repository level unnecessarily. So how to do that? Okay, so why lazy loading part is more important. Now let's go to how part syntactically. So virtual, as I already told you, in the mapped property you have to use a keyword called virtual. Now I will show you how in the context you will go and activate it. Already you have connection string, right? So I will write in this color. So activate lazy loading in context, context class, along with connection string. That means you are saying this time I'm using this connection string, and the lazy loading feature will be activated in the context. So if you understood this, I will show you how this step by step I have applied. I'll share this to you. Lazy loading. I don't need notepad because here itself I wrote everything. So I have already drawn a small example for this. Same way, I have defined two model class. One is employee, one is department, and department map property I have put in the employee. So that whenever I will bring employee data, at least from database up to context, it will bring mapped data and it will keep it here. When I will take it forward, only employee data will go, and when I will demand, that time only my virtual DB will offer me. So have a look. First I will go to the models. It is showing some Bad network my side. Am I audible correctly, guys? Any voice disturbance?
Yeah.
All good? Okay.
Yeah.
So have a look. I have these are all properties. Okay. Department ID, I assume that this is foreign key, which is optional again. Okay. As I said, not necessarily you have to have foreign key if you want to go for lazy loading. But if you want, you can go for it also. Line number 12. Okay. So I'm defining one map property, line number 14. And in that map property, department ID is also available in the department model. You can see here in department model, department ID is available, which is a primary key. If I want this department as a foreign key in the employee, absolutely fine. I can define this line. Otherwise, I can simply ignore it also. Okay. But good to have. So I define this foreign key here. Okay. In foreign key definition, you have to give the reference. Like in SQL Server, you say references, then table name, right? Here also, foreign key when we are defining, that time you have to give a reference property. In which reference property, the department ID is available and as a foreign key. The reference you have to give. Now that I did, which is not a big deal, I can delete also this line number 12. But if you really want department ID as a foreign key, while auto-generating the table, then you have to give it. Important is line number 14 here. If I will not put this virtual, it will say that every time I will bring up to browser level also. Okay? Up to browser level also, every time I will bring along with the employee detail. If I will not use this property, that totally I will delete this line number 14. That indicates you never bring department all information along with employee. But your requirement is little in between. Sometimes you may need it, sometimes you may not need it. You are saying, if I really need in the screen, I will demand it. Who will give me? Nah, your virtual DB will give you context. So that way you need it. If that is the case, then you have to go for virtual. Now this is one thing I told you, one extra library you have to install to activate lazy loading in the context. So first thing is install this library. Okay, step number 1 is always in entity framework we used to install 3 library, right? Entity framework core, SQL server and tools. But second one, have a look. I installed this additionally. Microsoft.entity framework core.proxies. Okay, Microsoft.entity. Current is 6.0.1. If you have anything additional in future, that you have to bring it. But must bring long-term support and stable. Okay, so you have to check LTS. So first step is install proxy library or assembly. I will say install proxy assembly. Step 2 is activate lazy loading. In context. So see how I have activated in context. If you not install this library, proxy library, then that keyword will not come in the context. So first thing you should install a library. After that you have to come to context. Nothing new. You can see DB set we used to define before also, now also. Connection string we define. But when that connection string is ending here, we used to leave it like this, right? Just put one extra function call, say use lazy loading proxies. Use lazy loading proxies. So use lazy loading proxies along with your connection string. Dot use lazy loading proxy, like that you have to add it. Step number 3, do the mapped property as per a requirement. Somebody says, no, when department I will bring, I want to bring all employee detail. That is different requirement. Somebody says when employee I will bring, I want to bring department detail. That is another requirement. So where you need the mapping, there you put child data property. That means child class data property. Public, class name, property name, get set like that. So step 3, map child class. I don't need to mean inheritance. Child means who is dependent upon whom. That is I'm saying child. Okay. So otherwise I will say do mapping of dependent class, like employee saying I'm depending upon department, so dependent class is department. So do mapping of dependent class in your entity class. Foreignkey attribute can be given if any. If you really want foreignkey in the database side, you can give that also, which is not at all having any relationship with your lazy loading. So foreignkey is there or not there, lazy loading is not going to stop. If that mapped property is there, lazy loading is going to work. So this is step number 3. And in step number 3 itself, I will write file mapping. Use the keyword virtual. That's it. 3 steps. Now it will work. See how it will be bringing the data. So I don't need to manually bring and plug it now. It will automatically bring and keep it with its context. Now up to you whether you are using or not using. So I'll put a breakpoint here. Okay, I'll put a breakpoint here and I will run it. I have one example controller, example repository. I'm just bringing employee detail and I want to say that along with employee detail, please bring department data also. Previously what was happening, 2 times I was hitting to database, right? Get the employee detail, keep it with you, get the department detail, plug it into department or employee, or create another view model where both the list will be put into together. We say it as wrapper class. That was the process before, right? But currently only one class is going to serve you, which is called employee class. So I'm not hitting to database again for department detail. Have a look. So I'll put a breakpoint here. Currently I have not executed, so it is null. When I will execute it, so the beauty is here, I didn't hit to database once more to collect the department data. It will automatically understand I will collect the department data. Maybe my SQL server might be service down. Let me open it. Usually it doesn't take this much time. No, yeah, okay. So I have 5 employee records. So better we will open database to compare our requirement. So I have some 5 employee records. So it brought 5 employee. Okay. And it is saying your employee data is already keeping department detail. Department proxy. It maintains a proxy in the context now. It is saying I will not every time carry, I will just carry the proxy for it. Okay, that is called department proxy. Okay. But department ID, employee ID, which is direct property, you will get it. Suppose you took this object and bind it. Now when you will demand means you are saying whichever object name, imagine EMP object name. You are saying EMP dot department info. Then this part will be carried on there from the proxy. Okay, department ID along with sales. Perhaps employee ID, first employee belongs to sales department. Similarly, everywhere. So if you are taking that outer object, it will not take memory for this department info. It will take only proxy information. That is called castle.proxies.department proxy. Okay. So that department proxy doesn't take 20 KB or 10 KB or anything. It will say 0 KB, 0 kilobyte or 0 byte. Only this data will take the memory. But once you demand it, you will say that in 0th object or in one object, there is something called department information proxy. I want that data also. Then you have to write it like object name dot department info. Then it will understand that acha, user is demanding that. Now I have to give it from the proxy, right? So that's why that library extra I have to install. So here you go. Now if you take it, as long as you are not recording it, it will not take any extra memory. If you demand it, then it will take extra memory, and as usual, it will display you. So let me show you. So all the data of employee I defined, but I need not to have the data of the department. But the moment you start demanding, that means inside loop, suppose you will say obj.department info, then it will go to context and bring it and give it to you. So two advantage you are getting here. One is 2 times you are not hitting to database. 1 time for employee, 1 time for department. And second advantage you are getting here is, even though you got in one go, your proxy is there to maintain it in the context level. Not necessarily if you are taking employees, all department will go along with, not necessarily. Your context is going to supply when and where you need it, right? So that is the advantage of this new concept we set as lazy loading. Any question, guys?
Yes, sir. So now I want to display department name, then I can easily display that department name.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because your employee itself is having now department
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
detail.
That's why in our project only session schedule details also.
So where you can use it, currently I have given one last module, question with caption, right? Each question has 4 captions. So you use question like your parent model and caption is like your child model. So in the question, whichever view model you are bringing, in that view model, you can add this one, caption also. Just like I put employee and department inside employee, you can put caption inside your question. So you must have created one question or something, right? So in that you can have caption also. So that one question will come, along with that 4 caption will come. Very good, good, etc. You can plan that way. All right. Everywhere, wherever you need mapped property, you can plan this way now. Okay. Any other question? Manasa, you have any question?
Yes, sir. So while creating those model classes like employee and department, I just created those properties with key, employee ID, employee name, and foreign key. And I forgot to put that last line, public virtual department info, and I've created the table.
Still, it will make foreign key, no issue.
Yeah.
Okay. But it will not map the data every time. When you are bringing employee, it will not bring department detail.
No, after creating the tables, I realized that I want department info also. So if I just add that
change
one
it
line,
and migrate it again.
Oh, you have to do the whole migration part from start.
Yeah. Even a small new column also you are changing the data type only. Then also you have to migrate. Without migration,
that case I understand, sir, because you're trying to change the data type of column or trying to add a new column or remove a column, then
this one also needs migration. This one also needs migration.
Okay.
If you want to later apply the lazy loading, initially you have not applied, now you have to apply, possible, but you have to migrate.
Because what we are here really doing is the department info is already there in the DB set. We are saying that just load it, right? So for that also you have to do the migration.
Yeah, you have to migrate. Yes, this information has to be informed to your database. Ki I am going to take your mapped property.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So otherwise your database will understand independently only you have to fetch. Employee means only employee, department means only department.
Right. Okay.
Any changes in the model you cannot do unless you migrate. Any changes. Okay.
So this can be put in view model also.
View model not a good idea because view model is for what purpose? For your application side purpose, not for communicating with the DB. So this is something to communicate with the DB, right?
View model, I am getting employee details where I want department also like the Foreignkey.
View model is all manual activity. View model doesn't connect with the database.
Okay.
View model is your application side, right?
Okay.
Whatever you gave it to view model, it will say that I will carry it for view. That doesn't have any relation with the database.
Yes.
So these are all foreign key, primary key, mapped property. These are all database stuff actually.
Yes.
So it should be in model.
Okay.
So if you think only view model is required, this kind of thing, then lazy loading is not going to help you in that case.
Yeah.
Your model will bring through lazy loading, and again one more step, you transfer the data to view model.
Okay.
Got it? So use model for bringing the data in one go.
Yes.
Again transfer it to the view model.
Yeah.
Manually. Always view model will get transferred from the model data.
From the model data.
That is to manually. There is no automated process. Okay.
Okay.
Manish, you have any question?
Yes, sir. Sir, for showing the we in this example we seen it's showing the department ID, right? And we map the things. Now we want to show the name of the department also. So where we need to make the change, sir?
Directly, like if you put a dot and then use the object, like here I will show you. Imagine you are simply displaying employee of 0. Okay. Then it will give only employee data. But if you are saying employees of 0 dot, just like this, employees of 0, that means you are saying first employee data I need.
Right.
But if you are saying first employee department information also I need, then it is going to give you that object. And if that is department, then store it into department and use it wherever you want to use it, just like this. So this will give me very first employee's department information.
Okay.
The rest is up to me. I can use this line in repository, I can use this line in controller, I can use this line in CSHTML also.
Okay.
Because CSHTML also meant for these things like model. Directly you are using model for employees data, right? So there will say model square bracket 0. So that inside model 0th employee department information I need. Got it?
Okay.
So all 3 layers, wherever you want, you demand it and your proxy will give you without connecting to database again. That is the beauty of lazy loading. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Good feature actually. Okay. So going forward, you can use it wherever required. Not necessarily always you have to use, but you can activate. You activated it doesn't mean that you are bound to use.
Okay.
Imagine 10 places you don't want to use, 3 places you want to use that feature. Still you activate it and use wherever you want. That virtual you can put. Okay.
So in the connection string, always we can use this use lazy proxy, and whenever we required we can use it. Otherwise,
use it virtual, and wherever not required, don't use virtual. Okay. That virtual property. All right. So this was one thing by mistake actually I have left it. At that time it is supposed to be taught during entity framework. So by this I have completed all my syllabus. As I have already told you 1 week back, you have to revise, and Sunday you have to connect with me if you have any. As of now, very few people again are connecting with me every day, but I have given full 1 week for revising and whether project related, whether topic related, anything, you have to connect with me. Few people are connecting, that's good. But I don't see the crowd how I usually expected. So this is last chance, guys. Up to Sunday, you revise whatever is there, and whether it is project related, whether it is topic related. Coming Sunday, you can catch up. So coming Sunday, what I will do is between 7:30 to 9:30, I will reserve myself for your batch only, and whoever pinged me that I have something challenges to discuss or anything, mostly welcome. I will keep it in sequence. Imagine I got 10 people, they are saying I have doubt or confusion discussion. 5 people only I can solve, suppose. Then I can extend it to Monday also, no problem. But you come up, okay? It's not like any restriction on the deadline. Coming Sunday, why I'm saying? Because Sunday is Sunday. I can give even 2-3 hours if necessary. But if from my side it is pending and you are saying that I have some doubt, I can extend to Monday as well. I don't have any problem. So come up, and whoever has not done project, you can at least, I will suggest one module you do, so that all these extra features, nice features you discussed, all design patterns, so at least you can implement them. Okay, so coming Sunday we will have the closure. So please come up and inform me that yes, I have something to discuss with. Don't always depend upon other student. If anybody else will ask the doubt, I will listen it. If you have doubt, you also ask, right? So please ping me, and I will reserve some time on Sunday, and then we can discuss.
Sir, actually, project requirement is over, sir, because we want to declare probationary period, no, sir?
Nobody is completing this. If somebody will complete, I have another module also to give you. Finally when feedback will be submitted, one result we have to do,
Yes, sir.
Out of this feedback, who is top level, who is middle level, like that, right?
Yes, sir.
So I have not explained that because nobody is showing interest. But yeah, those who are presenting me, I will explain them. No issue. That last module. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. So those who are always silent people never meet me. Also, at least one module you create and meet me on Sunday. That is the last request I can do. Okay. Yeah. Somebody is saying something.
Yeah, sir. Mansa here. Do you also conduct mock interviews, or next Sunday is the last day?
I don't think mock interview is required. It's okay. Project is enough in the MBC site. No need for mock interview.
Okay.
I will share some link where all the interview questions we have. Okay.
Okay.
From institute side, we maintain one portal for interview question and answers. You people can go through that. I will share that link to you. Okay.
Okay.
From the interview preparation point of view. And if you guys think your resume is not, attractive, because that is the first thing to call you for interview, right? So you can connect with me if you think so. Anybody. Okay. So I will help you as per this, knowledge, whatever we completed in this course. If your resume is not looking good, something it's missing, usually a lot of things you have to mention there. Technological stack, project undergone, my roles and responsibility in that project, many things is required. So if you think I can help you, you connect with me. Okay, so
sure, sir.
Ping me, talk with me, schedule time from me. I said coming Sunday, it doesn't mean that coming Sunday, after coming Sunday, I will not respond to you. It's not like that. Imagine somebody says, coming Sunday, I don't have time. Next Sunday, can I connect with you? It's not like I will say no, right? But you should understand from my angle also. Slowly, they will give new batch to me, and new responsibility come in that timeline. So I may not give. time sufficient. But currently, what I can give sufficient time. Today, suppose somebody will say after 1 hour or 2 hours. Today holiday is there, right? The office is not there. Suppose somebody will say after 2 hours I want to meet you. I have some challenges. That is best thing rather than saying on tomorrow. So that kind of small common sense also apply. When there is a holiday, you catch me and use whatever time you have also. I have also. I know that today is holiday for everybody. So you should have planned something, all of you. That okay, I have these challenges. I should connect with nobody yesterday. Rather than other batch people reserve my time, but your batch nobody. So before other batch reserve my time, you should have reserved it, right? Only 2 students from your batch scheduled with me. 5-7 student maximum I can help for a day. The other batch student, they reserve my timing. So now if you will tell also I cannot give time, I will ultimately say tomorrow I will meet. But yeah, 2 students already connected with me, I can give time to them. So these things little from long time I was going and telling you guys. So, but now still coming Sunday, still you have 2-3 days, revise either technical challenges or project oriented challenges. If Sunday I'm not able to complete you people also, it's fine. I can give next Sunday time also if necessary, but come up. Okay. So whatever help from my side, I will do, but come up. If so far not started project also, you have chance, I'm telling you. Within 3 to 4 days, one module you implement, all design pattern implement in that module. Not happening, Sunday itself you come. Sir, you told in one module also I can implement. Can you please tell me a little guidance so that I don't have time, but I can implement all the design patterns into that module. Come na, you bring. Okay, so I'm there to help. So that I can say that, Acha, now you wake up, no problem. Next Sunday you meet 1 hour. I can do that. Okay, Sunday I can help, no issue. But it doesn't mean that after 3 Sunday, 4 Sunday, suddenly you came and say that, sir, you have promised to connect on Sunday, please. What about other batch? They will also have rights, na? So take it as a priority, and till coming Sunday, whatever challenges you have, okay, you bring, whether it is topic related or project related, I'm ready to help you. Okay, so I have to jump to next class, guys. So talk you later, but you must ping me on Saturday, whoever wants to meet me.
Sir,
on
actually, WhatsApp you saw 4 days back, but didn't.
No, I didn't understand.
Sir, 4 days back, I requested sir to connect, but
Acha, today you can connect with me. Okay,
what time, sir?
maybe I will ping you once I will free from other batch. I will ping you. Okay,
Thank
2 students are already connecting from your batch. If I missed you, then I will add you also. Okay.
Okay, sir, thank you.
All right.